Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Road to Eagle Scout Skills. I'm your host. Today, I'm going over Tenderfoot Requirement 1A. So, that one is present yourself to your leader prepared for an overnight camping trip. Show the personal and camping gear you will use. Show the right way to pack and carry it. Alright, so I'm going to be going over the stuff I personally use and stuff I have just in case. First I'll go over my first aid kit. It's not to be fancy. It'll look like this. It has like bandages, gauze, Neosporin, Bactine, and just for an emergency, I have a little emergency poncho just in case I get lost. I feel like that's the best way to put it. So it's all in one area. So yeah, just emergency first aid items that I keep in my bag. So next, and probably equally as important as first aid, water. You need some water in your packs. So it depends on how far you're going. If you're backpacking, if you're or just regular camping. So just like one or two water bottles for regular camping. I've also lived on that for like a weekend backpacking trip. Just depends on how far you're going, where you're going, if it's hot, the weather, stuff like that. I also have this thing. I doubt you want to use this for backpacking because once you fill it up, it's gonna be heavy, heavy and big. You don't want like heavy and big items really all that much in your backpacking bag. So this will be good for like a communal like pouring thing that you could have members of your patrol, troop, crew, ship, whatever you use. It could be used for cooking. It could be like a one big drink, like one big water for drinking water. So that's you can use that for either of those things. Next is sun protection, hat, sunglasses. Pretty much simple. It could be. It can't. It doesn't have to be just a baseball cap. It could be those wide rim ones. For the full brim ones, I would recommend one of those like the floppy ones. Instead of like the Steph ones, like the campaign hats that you see like Smokey the Bear wear, because the ones that are like floppy almost, they could like bend and stuff. So they don't get caught on your pack when you're trying to move your head around. That's a good little nugget of information there. Speaking of sun protection, sunscreen. Um, just if you're going for a weekend camp out, maybe like a little bit more than this, just to keep in your pack. You don't have to use it like all the time, but like if you're like pretty exposed to the sun, try to put it on your skin every once in like a while. I think it's like 15 minutes. So yeah, that's that. Then next on the 10 essentials is extra food or trail food. It could be like trail mix, stuff like that. And for regular food, like for any like regular meal, not sponsored. I sometimes use Mountain House. They're pretty expensive, but they get the job done. Again, not sponsored. I'm not sponsored by any companies in this video. This is just a video information of what I use. Okay, not sponsored. Don't sue me, please. Okay. Next, let's see. Extra clothes, because clothes are important if there's like, let's say it's raining. All right, you need a rain jacket. If you're expecting rain on a backpacking trip or a camping trip in general, rain jackets are good. Rain protection. There are some pants available out there somewhere. They probably sell on like REI or something, or Big Five, where they have like a rain protection layer thing. Like it's like the material is like rain proof. So those exist. This is a rain jacket. See, and then navigation, map and compass. No, I actually don't have a map on me, but here's a silly little compass. that I have laying around. I just use one that's like hiking appropriate. There's this little one I found on a telescope. It's probably not gonna be useful for like going hiking or backpacking. So preferably use one like those like flat ones that look like a card, or like those rental ones that you see like navigators use. So yep. And also shelter. Shelter is a good thing. It's now kind of deviating from the 10 essentials a little bit because this is technically not 10 essential, I guess, but I say it's good to be one as a 10. I'll show you what kind of 10 I use. Give me one memento. One memento, por favor. So this is the type of tent I use, not sponsored. It's a 2-person tent. Just yeah. 1-person tent works if you're going by yourself. I use this even if I'm like camping by myself. It works just fine, but I wouldn't really recommend like going three persons up if you're going to be like tenting by yourself. For like a size tent, like a 3-person size tent, anything including and up like above that, I think is a little bit too big for just 1 person on the tent. So yeah, going back to the 10 essential list, fire starters. You could heat up your food. You could stay warm, send smoke signals if need be. Fire starters are good for all those things, as long as the place you're going allows fires. So like matches, lighters. I've seen like little clamp thingies where you clamp it together and like it makes sparks. I didn't know that access until like 2 days ago, but this is like there's quite a lot of examples of fire starters. I don't think I have any on me, but you know, they work. Alright, so next on my little list here on my little table, it's a sleeping pad. This one happens to be folded accordion style. It's a Thermarest, not sponsored. I got this at REI, not sponsored. So, yep. For these ones, this one has like a blue side, and it has like a foil side. So you get the foil side pointed up, like so that it's like reflecting back the heat your body heat back at you. Helps you stay warm. And speaking of staying warm, sleeping bags. You're gonna have a good night's sleep if you have a good sleeping bag. So this one happens to be 30 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah. So that means like it's kind of like keeps you warm for like cold temperatures up to 30 degrees. I've used it in like 20-degree weather. It worked just fine. But anything past that, it'll probably work a little less. Yeah. Also, going back to 10 essentials, I keep deviating from the 10 essentials list. I'm doing this off my head, but okay. 2 things. Well, okay. This one first. Pocket knives. Now this is a Leatherman, not sponsored. It's a little handy dandy pocket knife. You could hang it off your belt. It has a bunch of different stuff like a knife, and it also has a fire starter. Actually, I just noticed that. It has like a saw. It has a whistle. I think Never used it, the whistle, but it's a pretty good knife nonetheless. Not sponsored. Again, don't sue me, please. Next is a headlamp or flashlight will work just fine. I prefer headlamps because if you're sitting up in your tent in the dark, I would rather have this on my head rather than like trying to hold a flashlight and use like one hand to do everything else. I don't know why this is so loose, but anyway, yeah, I prefer headlamps, but flashlights work just as well. Let's see here. I already showed my tent. I guess a good backpack can't be a good set of gear can be good with a good backpack. I have this blue backpack. It's lightweight from Moriarty, not sponsored. It does a job for me. Try to get a backpack that's like light, kind of light and comfortable as well. You don't want to be like lugging a heavy thing on your back and be trudging along for what could be an enjoyable hike, and like make it unenjoyable. So be sure when you're shopping for a backpack, it fits you. It could hold your gear pretty well. So I'm gonna pack my backpack in a style that I'm familiar with and what I recommend. So usually you want your heavy stuff on the bottom towards your hips, so that way you're not top heavy and like tipping over. So usually like put like the tent in the bottom because that's like, well, for me at least, my tent is the heaviest. So tent goes on the bottom for me. It's probably not gonna be equal to everyone. You guys probably, some of y'all probably have a lighter tent than what I have right now, but it's fine. And then, so next probably would be, I have towels here. They're supposed to like represent clothes. I don't want to like pull stuff out of my closet, so I just got a couple towels. These represent clothes, extra clothes, just in case. So I'm going to do my clothes next, because that's usually my second heaviest item. And also depends on like how long you're going to be camping for, or backpacking, how many outfits could be taking, stuff like that. So, and also, a chair. A camp chair is good. Maybe not like necessary for backpacking, but for regular camping, it's pretty cool, pretty useful if the campground doesn't have that many like benches or tables. This comes in handy in those situations. And usually, if you have a camp stove or something, I would put that like probably on the top too, somewhere on the top, so it doesn't get like crushed and damaged on the bottom. And plus, it will be easy access for like when you actually need to eat. Unfortunately, I don't have one right now with me right now. So let's see. And then water would go in the side pockets, unless you have one of those bladder things that have the little straw that loops around to the arm strap. Those are useful too. Personally, I don't like those. I prefer water bottles, but other people might prefer the water bladder thing. And like little stuff would sometimes go in the top, or like side pockets, stuff like that. Make sure they're not like dangling or loose, because otherwise if they snag a tree or anything, they could fall off and you could lose them and stuff like that. Food. A lot of bags have like this top compartment thing. I like to put my food in there. My little trinkets and items and stuff. I was looking for this. Okay. So food. Put my knife in there. I put this headlamp in there. first aid kit. If it fits, I can put it in here. Hat could go on my head, you know. This could go in there. Really, any small things could go in the top compartment as long as like they're pretty small and like not. You don't want like everything to add up. All the files add up and accumulate on the top and have it still be top heavy even though you put your heavy stuff on the bottom. So I would say if you have a lot of little trinkets and items and such, if you have any side pockets, like this backpack of mine has hip pockets, you could put some items there, so it's still pretty even weight. Let's see. For me, I like to put my sleeping pad on the top, in between the top backpack compartment and the actual opening of the backpack itself. So it'll stick out a little, but it won't be that bad. I'll show you in a second what I mean by that. So, this is what I mean. It's kind of right there. It's going to stay in there because these two straps are going to keep it in there. It's not going to come out the sides or anything. It's not going to fall out. And then for my sleeping bag. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention about sleeping bags. Don't keep them in the actual bag. After every camp out, I'd say like if it's dirty, wash it, but also like keep it out of the condensing bag because it'll like lose its like softness and like breathability over time if you keep it in here, and that's bad. So I would say put it into like a separate bigger bag, so it could remain its like. Could have its loftiness remain. But aside from that, I usually put it under here where these straps are. It'll stay here. Let's see if I can do this with it dangling on my leg. So it'll look kind of like this. And boom. This is my backpack that I use. It's fairly new in terms of how long I've been using it for. Alright, so now that I have everything packed, I want to show you how to like properly like have it on your back, because it might be, depending on how much you put in here, it'll be like a good idea to have it all the way on your hips instead of your shoulders, so that like you're not sore up here. So I got that. I strap it in here. I'm gonna jump and then tighten it as I jump, so all the weight now is on my hips, and the shoulders are just basically stopping it from like tipping backwards. And I could use the thing if I want the shoulders remain like kind of like right here. Make sure it's snug and everything, not too snug, but snug enough to where like it's there. And then so, yeah, I know, but. Otherwise, that's how you pack a bag. That's basically what you need. That's identified requirement number 1, letter A. Alright. Thanks again for watching. This is Road to Eagle Scout Skills. I'll see you in the next video.